but we can start.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we are going to have a review session for our pair programming project. This project has lasted for 4 years. We got a couple of no-cost extension due to the pandemic, but we have successfully completed. Congratulations to everybody. And so we will have a couple of more people show up soon. He was the previous PI, but then he took a rotating director position at NSF. So I take over the role. He will join us a little bit late. He is at another meeting now. And Debbie Major is another team member. She will not come today. She is on leave, so she's not coming. And we will have one more graduate student, but she is assistant professor at Susquehanna University now. Okay, all right. Shall we take a round, just do a little bit of self-introduction so we know each other. My name is Ling Li, and I'm a current PI of the project. And I'm in the Department of IT and Decision Sciences, published quite a few papers regarding the IT technology. Okay, thank you.
You want me to go next?
Yeah, you go next.
I'm Silvana Watson, and I am from the Communication Disorder and Special Education Department. And I'm part of the project, or I have been. How about Shauna? I don't know.
Sure. Hi, it's nice to see you again. My name is Shauna Pribish. I'm in the Educational Foundations and Leadership Department. And I think since we last talked, one thing has changed is I'm now the department chair, just like Ling Li is department chair first. So.
My condolences.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. So this week is graduation week with a little nutty nut.
Wow.
Thanks.
Cool. Good.
I'm Li Xu, Professor of Information Technology.
Okay.
And Yumi?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Yumi. I'm the graduate student in IT department. Yeah, I'm very glad to join this team and had a fantastic time with all of the teachers and professors. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Yifang. I'm the PhD student in IT department.
Okay. Well, I'm Linda Thurston. I'm your external evaluator. I'm from Kansas, and I'm in Kansas right now. I'm retired from Kansas State University as a professor of, I taught special education, and I taught research and evaluation, started an evaluation center. I was a rotator at NSF for a while, and I'm back and been retired for about 6 years, and I'm doing a few evaluations for some NSF projects, mostly around broadening participation and students with disabilities. So I wish I were there in person. It was so great to see you all last time I was there and sit around the table in that nice office. I'm not flying yet. I know a lot of people are flying, but I just can't quite do it yet. So I thought maybe I'd be ready, but I'm just so I could come and see you, but I'm not. So I've looked at your website, and I've looked at your publications, and you've really come a long way since I was there visiting you. I'm really impressed also by the way you managed the pandemic. I have my other projects really struggled, and you struggled, but it sounds like you got some things done and were able to do some runarounds, and I congratulate you on that, because that's not easy to do. What I want to do is ask you some general questions for just discussion, and I'll try to take some notes, but I will then go back and look at the Zoom recording to make sure I have everything right. If I didn't get all the information I need for some reason, as I go back to finish up my report, I will send out a short Qualtrics survey. I don't know for sure if I will do that, but if I do, I'll do it within this week. So I can get that done and finish up, but I only do it if I have some other questions that I didn't feel like I need to go in more depth about. So Ling, I'll let you know if I'm going to do that. Okay.
Okay, all right, sure.
All right, so I have my notes, and then I'll have the recording, and I just want to remind you, if you don't remember, that I have a hearing issue. And so if you will, I have my hearing aids turned to technology mode, and I have my Zoom adjusted, but if you would speak a little slower maybe than usual, if that's possible, I would appreciate that. The first thing I wondered was, last time we visited, you were having trouble recruiting students with disability or students with learning disabilities, and NSF was trying to say, why don't you open that up to all disabilities? And of course, I understood why you didn't do that, and you understood why you didn't do that. How did you reconcile all that?
We didn't have the issue of not having enough students who have a learning disability.
Okay.
We didn't have this issue, and Shauna, she was doing a data analysis. She kept pushing me to get a large sample of disability students.
I know.
So what we did is, okay, in the middle of the project, we moved from in-classroom practice to virtual online. And what we did was we actively reviewed the student's profile and identify students with the learning disabilities. For example, I teach a different course, which is not an IT course, but in my course, I noticed that there are some students with the learning disabilities. I will recommend them to our sessions, the IT sessions that are doing the experiments. And for example, one student, he is a marketing major, was in my class, and has a learning disability, wanted to have a lot of help. Then I said, oh, great, I give you help. But then I got him to the Dr. Shi's class, doing the experiment. And it turned out he is very much enjoyed the class. He wrote me a very nice email, said, I didn't know that I can do IT work. If I knew, it's like this, I would be majoring in IT. A very nice email.
Mm-hmm.
But how did we do it? For especially the online session, we pair students, but sometimes the students with a learning disability will need a longer time to work with the pair. But not for everyone, but for some students, I pair the students with the learning disabilities with our graduate students. For example, Yu Ming did a couple of them. I paired the undergraduate students with our graduate students, so they will have more support from our graduate students. So that's something we did. Besides, we expanded the sessions to be included in the project.
Mm-hmm.
We actually did 47 sessions for this project. But 47 sessions, including both the control group and the experiment group. So, I think it's more than what was written in the proposal, because we want to have at least 30 students, with Shauna defined as a large sample, but we also have other issues. For example, because we have three pre, middle, and a post, the three surveys.
Mhm.
We want them to have all three surveys to be qualified as the point to be used in the analysis. So
Right.
that actually requires more students to get involved. But my experience is it is a really, really tough job to recruit the students. It's a really, really tough, you know.
Mhm.
But anyway, we made the number, and Shauna, you can tell us, you did the analysis, the data.
So we had two struggles. One was one that we expected, which would be to identify enough students who identified as having learning disabilities
Mhm.
in an area where we already knew that they were underrepresented. So we actually had collected data from about 1,000 students to get the 30. The tricky part is not all 1,000 students had a pre, mid, and post.
Mhm.
So of course, our bubble, our biggest data collection was at the pre with quite a bit of tail off at the post.
Okay.
So that was our number one hurdle. Our second hurdle, and I do feel bad for Lingley, she's right, because I was like, we need more, we need more, we need more, is that we were, and when I say we, I mean Dr. Xu, Dr. Lee, everybody on that side who was interacting with the instructors did an amazing job recruiting sections. We had quite a few that were doing pair programming, where we have lower numbers than probably, you know, it was getting instructors who were not doing pair programming to give a pre, mid, and post. Again, fairly, I would say very successful, but then trying to identify what we were trying to get is a comparable number of students with learning disabilities who did not engage in pair programming. And those numbers are low because those are predominantly distance sections. Even before the pandemic, these were distance sections predominantly. And so that's a double whammy that students with learning disabilities do not register for, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was a constant push. But I mean, overall, I think it was a very successful data collection. But those were some of the challenges. If people were going to do this again, they have to, like, we way oversampled what we first expected.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Thank you. Anybody want to add anything?
Silvana?
No, I was writing just to,
You
it's,
want to add anything?
yeah.
Well, I was really interested in the article about how you managed to switch into using distance and in the breakout rooms in Zoom. Some of the other projects I've been working with never did quite figure it out, I don't think, but so I really commend you on that. And the article actually explained it very well. So hopefully that will be a good resource for people who want to do that in the future. And I know that took a lot of work and a lot of collaboration among the whole team to have all those moving parts work together and actually make that happen for students. So I'm interested in how you work that out and what your process was for saying that we'll do this, then we'll do this, and how you feel about how that worked.
I can answer this question because, again, we wanted to have enough data points. So we felt a pressure to collect the data.
Yeah.
So when a pandemic started, that was in March 2020. in the spring break, during the spring break. So that's like in the middle of the semester.
Mhm.
And actually, we had quite a few learning disability students in that semester, and we didn't want to lose these students.
Yeah.
And we did a maybe mid already in these classes, so we decided to move on to online. But actually, I want to give a lot of credits to our graduate students because they are more tech talented people than our older generation. We call ourselves what's they called? We are tech immigrants. So we learn the technology.
Yeah.
They are tech natives.
Yeah.
They born with it. So our graduate students did a great job. Yiming, Yifang, and other students. Of course, the idea is more on the faculty side. The develop the pre, mid, post surveys. The defined learning material, etc. But in the implementation, our graduate students are much better than us. For example, give you an example, go on to the Zoom meeting. We need to do the breakdown groups. And I practiced so many times, I wasn't good at it. And I shifted
Yeah.
the role to our graduate students. Yiming, Yifang, and Amadi, they're great. They just handled so well. Of course, we explained in the paper. First is to have a plan, how to do it. That's like in class, online, that should be the same. But then the difference is deliver the project, how to deliver this process. That is a whole new experience to us. That part, as I said, our graduate students have contributed a lot. They are just tech natives,
Yeah.
so fluent, use it, And but follow-up is also very important because we have all those data collected online. We will follow up, meaning, like Shana just said, we want to have a pre-mid post. So we want to make sure that they have completed all three. So faculty members will check who didn't come, then we will contact these students and then we'll set up a special session for them. Since it's online, that makes things easier. We can set up a special session for them, get them like a make-up assignment, Before in the classroom, there is no opportunity for make-up assignment, but online we can do it. We did some, and then what else? You find you mean you can remind me? I think we did a lot.
Yeah. Tell me what it was like, Yiming, to be part of that.
Yumi, yeah.
So first, I think, we have a lot of meetings with Dr. Li and Dr. Xu to make sure what's the procedures and the objective of we want to achieve through the, let's say, online pair programming this project. So to implement it, actually, we first we need to identify what resources, technology resources or the internet resources we have and the capabilities, what we can let's say assume that the student have. So in this case, then we finally we set up as a Zoom meeting these approaches to deliver this pair programming project. And of course, we did a lot of initial rounds in ourselves. So I and other TAs and with Dr. Li and Dr. Xu practice it a lot of times to see how can we deliver this, let's say, project, let's say, efficiently to students through this breakout rooms approaches. So I think, and we actually made each initial round or each attempt, we make a lot of documents to get feedbacks from our, let's say, initial round participants and to revise our procedures and instructions. So yeah, finally, I think, yeah, overall it's very successful. And actually we learn a lot. And this knowledge is about how to deliver classes or programs through our online environment. It's very constructive and can be migrate to other, let's say, studies or classes.
So you mean you work directly with a student, right? You were paired.
And he
Yes.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did
Okay.
some, yeah.
So you were in a Zoom room with the student, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you learn?
Through Zoom, it's not that easy. Even in classroom, it's not easy. So what I learned most is that, yeah, pair programming, this technique or approach is very, it's definitely very useful, since that my major is in IT, so I do coding as well. So I can see that people doing coding, even me as well, everyone, they were stuck on some point. And it will very time consuming. They just, they just need some people can help a little bit to tell them. So now the navigator definitely can take them out from that stuck. And also when you do a programming, actually there's a lot of different ways you can solve it. It doesn't mean that there's only way to the finishing line. So when they switch their roles, then their partners can say, hey, there's another way to go to the destinations. So I think, yeah, if they can, when they're doing this in pairs, so they can learn different ways, which is usually they cannot figure out from their own perspective.
Okay. So you learned something about students with learning disabilities.
Right. Yifan did that too. Yifan also worked with the students. They all were present at the sessions.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
because when we have breakdown rooms, we have for example, 8 groups.
Mhm.
In the classroom situation,
Yeah.
you can just do all at one time. But when on the Zoom, we have 8 groups. We have to visit each group.
Yeah.
So we usually have 3 graduate students in a session, and one person will take care of a couple of 2 to 3 groups. And
Okay.
Yifan, you can share your experience. She did some too, and they did a workshop, also very good.
Oh, the work. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me hear your experience, Yifan.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Xu, Dr. Li, and Yuming. They designed the Zoom pair programming session very well. And so before we implemented the Zoom pair programming, some of our graduate students, we practiced a lot and how to use the breakout room and how to help the students to resolve their problems. So when we have the pair programming online, so I think everything went very smoothly. So we have several pairs on Zoom breakout room, and each pair, they work on some assignments. So if they have any questions, our instructor can help them to figure out where is the problem, and also we can help them how to resolve these issues. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you learn? Yifan, what did you learn?
Yeah. I learned some Zoom technology, how to use the breakout room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to use technology, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
This
Uh,
is Angie.
Hi.
Angie, would you do a short self-introduction?
Okay, for some reason, I think like I'm logged in as someone else there, but that's fine. I'm Angie Gorkhali, and I was previous TA for this pair programming. I was TA from 2018 onwards till 2019. Right now, I am an assistant professor of data analytics at Susquehanna University.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you using pair programming?
In some of my classes, I do use pair programming. We do this thing called Excel programming for the simulation. And I also use Visual Basic there for some extent for simulation. And there for the team project, they do use pair programming.
Okay.
I introduced that.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I've read the publications you have. Are there some other ones coming up? Sean, are you working on some more publications? Savannah, anybody working on more publications?
I'm working on 2 sets of analyses that still need to be finished. That's my number 1 priority.
There's still a lot of data that you haven't really reported on yet, right?
There's 2 sets of dependent variables. So of the 5 hypotheses, we've addressed 3, but there's 2 still that I need to do, one of which will be, involves grades, and I'm smiling because Dr. Lee spent months gathering the grades information. So I have to merge that in to the identified data, and then I need to de-identify it again. So right now we have a de-identified database, but I need to sort of go back 3 steps, merge in the grades and do that.
Okay.
I'm not working right now in any publication. I'm just, I have three projects, so I'm kind of
I know.
juggling.
And then you're running off to an island. I mean, really.
I know. Maybe next year I can.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else working on anything?
No.
Maybe
So,
maybe Wu-Hee wants to work on something, but he's not here yet.
Yeah.
yeah. So if you got some funding to follow up this research or do another piece of research based on what you learned from this or based on something about being involved in this project, what would that research be? I'm going to start with the new assistant professor, since you have to publish, right?
Angie.
What research would you do next on your own if you said, well, I learned a lot from this project and this is what I want to do now? What would that be?
Mostly it would be, I believe, in the pedagogy side, where I would, implement how like students learn better with pair programming compared to when the pair programming is not there. Maybe over a few semesters, I would collect data, and that is something that I feel is quite interesting there.
Okay. Savannah, what would you do next?
With pair programming.
Or something about that, it's just really cool, as being in special ed, that you've debunked some of the mythology about what students with learning disabilities can and can't do, and that's huge. I think that's huge, and I hope you'll really keep pushing that. But so, what would you do next, Savannah?
Well, I would like to bring that into the schools, the K-12 schools, to get them better prepared, and maybe when they get into college, they will be able to, to just say, like like Dr. Link said, that she got an email from her students saying that he wished he knew he could do it, to be able to,
So they'd know in high school before they came to college.
Yes, right.
Already And already had a major going on, so, right.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah, okay.
But I guess I'm hoping that they'll continue doing it, even if we don't, do have money for a project, but I'm hoping that they'll be working more with students with disabilities, especially the LD students, and trying to figure out, best ways to support them in the classroom.
Okay.
A lot of,
Shauna, what would you do? You're still in the middle of this one. What would you, what would you say? Gosh, I wish we'd added this variable, or I wish we'd thought of this at the beginning.
Can I,
Hadn't thought of
can,
that.
can I share my screen real quick?
Oh, yeah, you can. I have
Great.
the share screen for everybody.
Okay, great, thank you. So here's one thing I wanted to point out is I don't think we really thought that this much ahead. If you'll see here in our first semester,
Mhm.
actually, okay, we only had one section. I don't know what we were thinking. Then in our spring 2018, again, we only had one section, right?
Mhm.
So fast forward to our final
look at that.
semester, right? This is how many, in our final semester, you can see a bunch of classes like here just didn't do it, but we had multiple sections at the same time. So if I had to do one thing over differently is that we probably would have ramped up data collection in this first year, been much more aggressive. Again, this is, we were learning. I don't know what we thought in a class of like 30 people. Did we think like 15 of them were going to have learning disability? We just didn't. And then so we were able to slowly ramp up, but we really missed this
Okay,
a window that we could have. But that's about it.
okay.
I'm not sure if that was your question.
And show me where on your.
Can I add some?
You want me to go back?
Show me,
No, I
yeah,
want to add something
Okay.
to what Ashana said.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to know where the Zoom started, spring of,
No,
So-
the spring 2020.
Right.
Spring
So
2020, middle
Oh, there-
of
oh,
the
you
spring
marked it.
2020.
we had 3 COVID semesters that we
Right.
collected data in. So 1 full year, a spring, a summer, and a fall. But you can see that almost, well, it's not quite 50% of our students came from those COVID semesters. Now, this is a rough estimate, but we collected 1,100 pre-surveys over the course. About 500 of them were in COVID.
Okay,
And we haven't done any, like right now, we're just looking at aggregate everybody. We haven't done COVID, non-COVID analyses yet.
yeah,
And we don't think that we have 20, these are raw numbers. Some of these surveys were duplicates or no good or something like this. So this is not an accurate number of like what we have in our analysis sample. Okay.
okay. Ling, what were you gonna add?
Oh, I want to add actually 3 things to the data collection. That when Ashana was talking, it reminds me. You said that Ashana said the first year we only had one section or something.
Right.
Well, I took over like the second year,
Right.
and I think that that's well, I'm not sure if it's correct for me to share, but anyway, I just say it, but don't just say too much. I think that is also so your position in the department can line up a lot of instructors who will participate in this project. Many times is capitalize on your personal relationship with other instructors. So that's what I feel. I reach out to many instructors, recruit them to participate in this project. So there is good things and not as good. good thing is we have a new approach to teach our student. Not good is that experiment is not the original course plan in our course description, published course description. So the instructors need to make an adjustment. What the agreement we had with the dean's office is that at least 75% of the course content will remain as it is published in the catalog. And 25% of the time you can use to do the experiment. Because we also had a faculty member complain about it. So I had to bring this issue to the dean's office and make this arrangement.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this is the second part is you need to have some more procedural things, understanding there to get the project successfully implemented.
Yeah.
But then the third is the alternated teaching plan that actually add a lot of work to our instructors who participated in the course, because they still need to teach their own material. On top of that, they added this experiment. And there are some good comments, in the student feedback, but there are some not good comments in the student feedback as well. So it's that's something need to be considered. But I don't have answers to that. It happens everywhere. You have pros and cons,
Well, and doing really tight research like you did in an educational setting is just almost impossible. That's why a lot of people don't do it. So I congratulate you on that. Anybody else? Okay.
Yeah, we also had the faculty meetings. Usually we have a meeting at the beginning of the semester, before the school started.
Yeah.
We will invite the faculty members who participate in this project, but who are not. We have acknowledgement on our website. There's acknowledgement to these professors. Although they don't need to do anything for the pair programming component, but they do need to adjust their teaching plan to accommodate this experiment.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So I usually acknowledge people's contribution in different ways. So I was able
You do.
to include more people.
Anybody else have any ideas for research they'd like to conduct? You mean you're a graduate student? What year are you in your graduate studies?
Yeah. I'm in my graduate program. Yeah, still. Yeah.
Are you working on a doc?
Sorry.
You're working on a doctorate?
Yeah. Yes.
How much longer do you have?
I have 2 more years. Yeah.
Well,
So yeah. This summer I will do my
research agenda, aren't you? Yeah.
I think the let's say the experience on this project is very constructive, and I think like how people can collaborate it together, and especially in their, let's say, classroom performance is definitely research directions in the future. More specifically, probably like through using the digital technologies to help them to enhance their performance through especially in probably it's going away right now, but probably in the future people will more move to the online learning or learning by themselves. They would like to tied off in communities, pairing communities to work with others in groups or in pairs. So how they can collaborated and communicate with others effectively and efficiently, I think that definitely deserves scholars to pursue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good things to look at. Yifeng, how about you?
I really learned. This is my third PhD. This is my third year in our PhD program, and for the past, we worked a lot on the pair programming. So I learned a lot from this project, and I learned how to design the online experiment. So this is very creative, and at first it was really challenge for us. So yeah.
So that's what
I
piqued
think-
your interest, doing it, delivering it online. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Yu, do you have anything to add? Oh, anything? Okay. Let's see. All right. So I thought your website was really user-friendly. Of course, that's what you all are experts at, right? So do you know anything about the traffic to your website?
Let me see. I have a couple of websites, so I try to see that. Did we? Maybe we didn't track on this one.
Yeah.
You mean? Do we track the visitors on this one?
I guess I made, but I need some time to get it out. So probably, yeah, I will let you know later.
Okay. Okay. Well, I hope I hope as you all are talking to IT colleagues and Silvana, as you talk to special education colleagues, you really send them to that website, because I thought it's got really some good information, and they could almost pick it up and do some things, since they don't have to do an experiment like you all had to do with it. And that's what, you know, if that's going to help students with learning disabilities, I think that's really great. Okay, now this is my last question. What else would you like me to know about your project, or what would you like me to make sure I have in my evaluation?
Well, first, you have praised us. We feel very good about it. For 4 years effort, you know, to to almost draw a conclusion to this project. And we were worried about when the pandemic started, if we could complete this project or not. But finally we made it through. Then we decided to have a web page. We didn't have this web page
I didn't remember one
before. Yeah. We didn't have it. Then we thought, well, it would be great to put everything on a web page. The reason to have the web page is also because we want to get this paper published. The paper, introduced this online project.
Yeah.
And so a reviewer raised several questions about the technology. One, of course, the web page is kind of the idea. Maybe not to just say that. How do they know this? How can they access our project? The other is about a technology platform. Which is you mean touched a little bit on that, because when we introduce the pair programming to students, technology is on our side, the instructor's side. What about on the student side? We never requested the students to have the kind of technology they should have to participate in this project. And there's no budget for that as well.
No. Yeah.
We did have some students, very few students, said they didn't have the technology to participate. So, and our university is very supportive. We use the university's technology platform. It's called Move. Move is the name of our technology platform. So if we want to move on to, online, the technology part need to be considered, which is not a component of the original proposal at all,
Yeah.
But anyway, we use a different resource to support this project.
Okay.
And then we thought, oh, it's a great idea to just get everything online to share with the other people. So that's the idea.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. You can let me know if you think of something. Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions for me?
Do you think we are ready to conclude the project?
You know, I know you can go on and on. It sounds like Sean isn't done.
Shana is mute.
Yeah. And I hope when you get all of it together, you'll do one big one with all the stuff you've done. But that's I went back and looked at your goals and your objectives and all of that stuff, and it looks to me like you've wrapped it up really well, and done the fancy footwork with the COVID. I do congratulate you on that, because that's really stopped a lot of people in their tracks. So yeah, especially, I mean, people who were doing implementation, not even necessarily research on it, and then to have it in the middle of research is pretty amazing. So okay, well, that's all the questions I have. If anybody doesn't have anything they want to add. Okay.
No, we are just waiting for your report.
Okay.
So I will feel a bigger relief when
And you can send that off to NSF and you'll be done with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll get that.
I do believe that like this project did help everyone involved in it, particularly for the TAs. It gave them extra exposure to conduct classes. Because I remember, I was never teaching any 300 level classes, but I was there doing the IT 360, right? Yuming Dimitri, that was IT 360. We were up there, and it was huge class, and we were teaching them programming. So it did give us extra confidence and also put us in an experimental setup. That did help me to at least conduct some sort of student survey.
Yeah.
And now I believe I can do better job in student survey. I did mess up earlier with student surveys a lot in the
that's a great unexpected outcome. And I heard a little bit of that last time I visited about how much graduate students learned and how much they learned that they thought would make them better professors in the future. So I think that's really cool. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks,
Linda,
for that again.
Linda, I think that the one thing it's very important in the project, which I didn't mention, that is a team effort. We had a great team. We worked so hard together, and very supportive team. Even for the graduate students, if they didn't participate in this project, they wouldn't have this team experience.
Yeah.
Now they got this team experience. For example, the initial project design, they didn't do it, but now they get the opportunity to learn. So it's not only the pair programming for the undergraduate students, it's also a great team experience for our TAs and graduate students, and gave them a good opportunity to be a university professor. By the way, Yifan she is also she's been a lecturer for this year, and she taught an online course. Gave her a lot of confidence to teach.
I think I am gonna mention that, because I think that's I always like to find unexpected positive outcomes. because there's always things that happen. Okay. Thank you.